Zava Lama Namla Guzan Sanje Gung Zava Lama La Guzan Guba Jimbu Zorwan de Damenelo Rangwan Juba Tende Juba Nyambara Zenje Lo Juba Zamje Jo Jitun Nyamdo Dobe Yonde Bamda Ye Sanje Mena Dembe Jamzinde Londo Jamze Yala Guzan Sosongun Zoji Lama Dar Soto Jimmy Nipjinje Kantu Jamdra Tejera Barba Dorji Yabla Zorwande Rana Dondo Nije Dabjimbe Interipen Jarkon Jamsel Kotan Yanga Nage Zilab Ranzen Namje Gombang Jo Ola so da yan to go nga so chudo dorjin chebon chemo yong la yang sin je don zomji pa karwa zambo re din dembatel tin ne tene ngarang ge chamala gomo ta hidele ya ta te tan sin do tene nang pa da nyam be simje tamje ten da la na me ba yang da wo zo san je komba rombo che la da jibu jena jango parsa te ji da tambe chisamo gang ye chirgen de sin nyam zo lang yo nyam be tuba jimbo ga hon sa chen cho de tu jin ne sin bar sho de la gang sin bar sa be chu je ramba ne da to gong a so ter chin khol je wa de chin bar be dor je ke sap ter sab don de chin khap chu kar mo nang ke tene monam thon shoke yori te dogon da chizu ji ni ka rang na monam cha cha ro thuya la de kale khawori na da ma je chi char sambari darin de nga zo kokam rawo de zo arzona Kunzang Chöling de nga zo de kokap na wari de de chamal zo ari zona Kunzang Chöling 주로 상가 용조라 투기 지켜다 대단히도 참아라 대안하기 위하인 되는 나랑게 강탑탄이 마 교건데 디토니마 삽기 잠시네 되는 게 강탑터 마 효과에 도건 참만 로토고 말이 되나 말이 저기위는 차차위는 저기 장도고는 로토고 말이 돼 나다마 답직도 dom체위는 마제 효과에 되는 참하게 대로 심바리큐 되니 나랑게 효단 노르와단 초바단 쇼마키와다 든르리나 참마추로 남발라 도르캬즈르캬인 되니 나랑간 히히 마 효과에 말을
I did that thing. The thing I wanted to do.
We can play your video.
I don't need to. Okay, just audio. Nice. I'm very grateful for this opportunity to gather together with all of you, my Dharma friends and Vajra brothers and sisters via Zoom. And I'd like to begin by wishing all of you a good evening and by reminding you to generate the motivation of bodhicitta for listening to these teachings with the thought that all beings throughout space must be brought to the achievement of perfect Buddhahood through the efforts of myself alone. In that way, cultivate the intention and aspiration of Mahayana. The Dharma with which we are concerned here is the Aspiration Prayer, to be reborn in the celestial realm of the White Khechari. This is an accessory to the Terma cycle, the White Khechari of great bliss, the profound meaning, which, as you know, is a terma of Chechen Baba Dorje, who was like a Chakravartin among Tertons. To be frank, it would be impossible for me to go through the words of this aspiration prayer one by one and explain their meaning in the hour or two that we have devoted to this this evening. Also, I have previously here at Kunzang Chöling explained the words of this prayer in detail. First of all, is this event first of all, is this event has been organized and sponsored by the Kunzang Chöling of Phoenix, Arizona. I would like to begin by extending a special hello to all the members of that center who are taking part in this Zoom retreat and listening this evening. What I will attempt to do is break this aspiration prayer down into its component sections so that you have an idea through an outline, as it were, of what you are doing, what you are praying for at each part of it. And I will do my best to explain this correctly. If I make any mistakes, I confess this in the presence of all of you, my Dharma friends, but I'll do my best.
갑주 현대 제법 모남 이시 니지 신칸들람의 기사와 요소스 단도난디 모남달라 나좀 갑주 이렇게 현감 갑주 현대 제법 모남데 소가서 갑주 현대 제고 그 유난 갑주 현대 제버세베 소조 소온라오데 아서 토마르가서 당도 이치지 대반나 봤음데 메도 마랑와치 궁바진리 현감의 제거나 대바야보다 태참에 바케 고리 디나 대바 디나니 이치지 대바케 고리마도 제게 대아차세나야 제게 유나민나 삼니리나 참이게 송데르 메제 토퍼 태참제 로당압 좀 파르타도 나한테 대친 로주디 산지 송니 투나에 메토카는 메제징에서 메도 페마법서 대화치킨의 제도 가지 제게 유나 미나산의 태상원나 태상 제가 로동라만 파르 대화치킨의 제카베나 메도 뱀법서 탐로 거리 대한항기 다시 감전에 나서 기과린도 거리 대리 대니 조때 다 대화치킨의 제가 저저절은 기과 직장인 달라 저저의 창고들이 당보 띵신 감사르데 대한항기 그 조초사 접장 대한항기 조상조 심지 김모나 남다데 된 이야데 창공에 바지가 가서 그 현감 예매차니 현감 계고는 뒤저 이야데 창고들 then the Tambo Telanga so get Tin comes on depte, Yabo long only like charging on it. Any teen done the Nickness of Sosa Gorwa, then the Tin comes and Dinan is young is someone ying can come the Yila Kang Tarian Sarpo Timbore Yila Chart Tabake, Tenrike Gohoyori. Then the young Dini, Namongo and Dakin, Sonta. Lama dan control the samsa law, say Lama the Nisam control the samsa law injury. Then the Yama Lon of Gyamtso Lane, Serge Sagi, don't so by ye. Renchera of Chukin Jonea, Pam Pan the Paxi to Chata, Jan Simi and some and the Damen Otrianate, Trami Koni Java and the Sombati Jeba, which are called Linja Mayan, Linja Kipo Mayan, but Tang and thereby Ni. They heard the lion cut on top of the Kiwama Net. Nam ke tati can come the Chuku can come the Dorjin Changa Monam the Orjin Hisa, he wome tapa, and Hing Bandasa, you search among reeds, you're a panjon, Chin not order, Cindy are like Jung King, that Tina Hiba Nagit under he rig in the jargon, Tokonjata Matati, Pajaha Kotokari, Cindy are like Jung King, that doesn't Yinla Gidi Chur, Zizo Sata Jizi Rada Race. Then Zizo saw the Jinzi Rada Kanyo Patam Ju the Sancho Sem Dindili. Kapu Konator by Janjan Redo or Mato Yinga Sokata, Jigni come the neighbor Sari Rada Yondan Raomari. Then Zizo saw the Jinzi Rada, Tamji Sancho Sem the things in the Namkin Japton, Wanga Tapsity, the Chamber Kinidasa, Drana Madu, Chian, but long year to Zansomayo, Tingna Renzen, Lama Gata Tra, Yadam Lato Panan Jata Cat. Tete Kincho, Rumboche, do Armangarba, Tete Kincho, Rumboche, do, Setati, Troncherga Witane. Armangarba, do Armangarba, do Armangarba. Do Armangarba, Tenico, Troncherte Witane, Teni, Hinkam Troncherte Witane, Tani, also Hope Soul Center, Troncherte Witane. So make it in a meg or that Troncher Day with the Do Armangarba, Chunjong, Paxi, Cure, so rainy Paxi, that Enrique Jache on the Yobaga Day, tea within the church of Troncher, church of Troncher, Mato Jangas, and Jictic Muggis with Yajoga, Troncher Mari, Nyang Wu, Sana Demi with Yaria Kans, that tea Nagik Yaria Kamba tea within it, then it's subdump purpose, the Yaria Cantella, subdump papa. That means you're sub dump of Sergio Lobjita, sub taking a song gombo, Chumjong, Sursum, yes, Chungs of Dorjins and Basalan, when Zen Chokordate, Chumjong Sursum, yep, Chujijone, Sawa Chala, third. Chumjong Sursum, Tambo, Tungcher Chasadi, Chumjong Sursum. Silorwa. Or tea with the name Chumjong Surtop. Normal. That they are on. Sursum, yet Zawatala, Khechari Young but source. Sir got now Mar Chumjong Tumbar. Mayo sat in Palam Dorjim, Kadonga, the Ringaranda, Zipa Pag, go, the number lot of Lamugik, not on Doyon, Yora Jubanto, to her member him the Medota, Rinchi, Target, Dad, the Travanzi, Dava long, Tresren Himbado, Serdon like in Caverambochi, Pukan has a payment of the Bender Palo, Umbarcana, King, Japep, Trichin, the so yellow said the dog took some time, shooting Colo Tipadrachin. Sancho, Simdi Radang Angbe Teens, Sancho Sim Jutta Din de Radang Angba Tin de Mavs, Macale, Shamba, Nangisham, Longitude Batartan Pentin Z, Pora Te Nagi Yareka Te within Pora Te Nanta Tanga so Flas are golly, La de Pora Te Nanta, Wunga Londo, Macha Pema was Yadata, Yamata Dava. Majaba, Pema John, Daniel John Mauba, Pema, Damni Chip and Damja Maubala, Sobakimamuki or San Yadata, Yamani Joe Dardan, Pamro, Te Todan, Corde Mali Chip, Yum Chimo, Corada Yandi, 마디 기베 염치모 주거 이신 칸로 라랑가 더자와모 참베 이그 상와이히 모 상와이히 도 남바된 갑조가모 도르진 남죠마 샤르체 사니 파동 까르다마 예기 조마 데친 카다추 까마리 신지 zuki마 쩨다 도마르 더르 첨바다 세단 돈 드라마라니 카도 까르보다 마르보다 덴리 쩨게 코 소소가 나걸라 드라마라 데 난저 용게 요레 에나데 ko yihi jaga ngormato jaga kakala yawa senja miri jagda tomar duwar chomba da na zo jayang zhirba nyamjar de sana gongchang koyong kolu ko go ye yung dacha de yar ye ka go ye yung ni la dacha ka chuji zengwe rire nye de nang tene nyingpa zhoba sata de ye yung la norba da hen wazir de hen de la trawa da trawa sepa daso changma la yung hen zhasa zhazho hinji hinjong zos so yela hinji so rela rere de ze de la hinjong da da ge 야야 그 송기 행정 마모 탐지 립시야 설통데 행지 행정 조 나조 꾸를 삼주 열는데 양진 초기행데 제월 효 히비 인주 되니 띵행카 서덤 로 다티 띵행카 서덤데라 나조 용나 예빈도 소소게 대 대바다 무 이치가 토니 담보 띵행칸데 야부 제 산데 토바케라 삼노 동동네 되니 조초사 접장가 고네 비고로와 지가 도르 거르세 지가 거르세 도르 디나데 녀소 You got
Am I muted? Can you hear me? You can hear me. Okay.
Yeah, everyone here.
Right.
Yeah.
So to go through the text, the title of it is A Song of the Path of the Twice-Born Wisdom Dakini, an aspiration for rebirth in the celestial realm. The main cause of rebirth in a pure realm, such as in this case, the celestial realm of Khechari. Khechari means the celestial queen, is a faith of belief, the faith which is desire, wanting something, and the faith of wonderment or awe. So in order to be reborn in her realm, we need to have that kind of faith, free from doubt about the existence and attributes of her realm, and free from doubt even about whether we will or will not be born there. Similarly, Kamachamya Rinpoche writes in his aspiration for rebirth in Sukhavati that if someone has accumulated the causes of rebirth in Sukhavati, but is in doubt at the time of their death as to whether or not they will succeed in being reborn there, they will still be born there, but they will remain in the lotus in which they are born for 500 years, during which time they will be able to hear Amitabha speaking, but they won't be able to see him. And then eventually the lotus will open and they'll be able to see him. And this is caused by the obscuration of doubt. Now, similarly here, the causes of rebirth in Khechari's realm are the same four causes as the causes of rebirth in Amitabha's realm of Sukhavati. They are having a clear image of the realm in mind, gathering the accumulations of merit and wisdom, generating bodhicitta, and making the aspiration to be reborn in her realm. So therefore, we'll find that the aspiration prayer, the liturgy, is divided into sections which in sequence correspond to those causes. The first section is therefore a detailed description of the realm. It's mostly self-explanatory. So to read through it, it begins with the words Namo Guru Dakiniye, which I interpret, Lama said, to mean homage to my guru inseparable from the Dakini, Khechari, or Vajrayogini. And then to the southwest of here is an island in the ocean. Its ground is golden and is planted in the earth like a tree. In its center is a great jewel mountain shaped like a dharma source. It is 60,000 yojanas in height. A yojana is about 10 miles and immeasurable in breadth. It is surrounded by innumerable mountains and islands. This place is called Udyana. Numberless kalpas ago, assemblies of victorious Vidyadharas attained bodies of light there, taking their dwelling places with them. This happened not once, but innumerable times. They left behind Naga Dakinis, who throughout many pure births continued to hold that place. Eventually, through the aspiration of Vajradhara, Udyana became a highest pure realm. Its ground is of lapis with squares of gold. Its meadows are of turquoise, its mountains made of various jewels. Its trees are divine, of, of sandalwood and aloes. Agarwood is aloes. Its pools are amrita, water with the 8 attributes. There are beautiful birds, predators, and other animals there, all endowed with bodhicitta and samadhi. At this point, Lama commented, the animals, the birds and whatnot that are seen in this realm are not animals like the ones we know in our world. They're all emanations of Khechari herself, and they all are motivated by bodhicitta. The sky there is filled with a lattice of 5-colored rainbow clouds raining down Amrita. The sun and moon of wisdom shine. All the sounds there are the pleasing melody of Dharma. The wind is a gentle breeze with a delicious fragrance. In the sky above are the Vidyadhara Gurus, as resplendent as stars. Yidam deities appear in the sky like rainbows. In that supreme realm is a precious rock of Armagarbha, shaped like a dharma source. So in the center of this realm is a huge triangular rock. Armagarbha is jasper. There's another semi-precious stone that also can be referred to as Armagarbha that begins with a C, and I can't remember what. Carnelian, that's it. Did I say? Yeah, carnelian, that's it. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Shaped like a dharma source means triangular in this case. It is 10 yojanas in breadth, so 100 miles. On it is the delightful city of miraculous wisdom. In the city's center is a palace of transparent light. Because it is elevated over the 7 levels, it has 4 corners and 8 sides. Sadun papa sena kana segu. Because it is elevated over the 7 levels means that all there have achieved at least the 8th bodhisattva level. So they dwell on what are called the 3 pure levels. It has 4 corners and 8 sides. And then it says it is triangular, which can be confusing. Lama said the way it is that, okay, so from the outside in, you have this rock of, what did you call it? Coriander? no, carnelian. So I always think of coriander, of carnelian or jasper. Anyway, of this large rock of semi-precious stone, on top of which is her city. And in the center of the city is her palace, which is square with 4 sides, 4 gates, and lots of other things that will be described. Inside the palace are 2 tetrahedrons of light. A tetrahedron is a 3-sided pyramid. In this case, the point is down, and the widest part is up, and they're facing opposite ways, so that if you looked from the top, it would look like a 6-pointed star, and they kind of interpenetrate one another because they're made of light. So that's when it says it is triangular. It means the Dharma source inner part of the palace. It is triangular, shaped like a Dharma source to represent mastery of the 10 levels. It narrows to a point at its base and widens toward the top. The Dharma source is white on the outside, red on the inside, and blazing with blue light. The palace's foundation, so this is the foundation of the square outer palace, is of immovable hard Vajra diamond. Its 5 colored walls represent the 5 families. The walls are 5 colored like in layers. The way in this world you have like sheetrock and then insulation, and then you have 2x4s, and then you've got siding on the outside. Well, in this case, it's like things like diamond and rubies and gold and sapphire and emerald. Its 5 colored walls represent the 5 families. Against the brick upper walls, so above a certain level, above the main walls, there are bricks of gold. Outside the doors are 11-part arches. So outside the doors are what in architecture we often call porte cochère, which is like an archway with a raised landing, which for you getting off your horse or whatnot, and then stairs leading down. And in this case, they're very ornamental, and they have 11 parts to them, 11 levels, accommodating the archway to represent the 11 levels culminating in Buddhahood. On the surrounding promenade, so the touching the sides of each archway is a red promenade, and on that are graceful gods and goddesses emanating various desirable things. The curtained ventilation windows are adorned by garlands of flowers, jewels, and silk. Above the golden bricks are little pillars of precious material and wind can go back and forth between them. There are curtains hanging inside them to keep it cool, and outside there are garlands of flowers, jewels, and silk hanging from the tops of each pillar to the next one. Moved by a breeze, little bells decorated with moons tinkle pleasantly. The clappers of the bells have little crescent moons on them. The palace has golden parasols. Now we're talking about what's around the edge of the roof. Divine trees, that's on either side of the archways. Precious hangings, decorative ledges, and eaves in the shape of multicolored lotuses. These are the types of eaves and other architectural things that you would not be unfamiliar with from classical architecture, except in this case, they're all made of gold and precious materials, not plastic. The boards of which it is made, so that would be the ceiling, are of lapis lazuli, blazing with light. It has an ornamental roof with a golden parasol and 13 Dharma chakras at its peak. Above the ornamental roof is a stupa-shaped finial. A finial is what we often call a spire, but it should be calling a finial. There are also spires, but this is a finial. And if you think of a stupa, there are rings. Each one gets slightly smaller than the one below it. There are 13 of them. Those are Dharma chakras, and they represent the 13 levels culminating in Buddhahood. There are also Dharma chakras at the doors, above the doorways, as you're used to seeing with the in gold. The Dharma chakras at the doors proclaim the roar of various vehicles. On either side of them are deer and geese endowed with bodhicitta. There are curtains of peacock feathers and beautiful silk ribbons and banners blown by a breeze. So that explains more or less the outside of the palace. Inside that palace, so within the palace and at the center of these tetrahedrons of light, in an expanse of 5-colored light, are the lotus of freedom from desire and the sun and moon of the clear light. And on top of them, the corpse representing the wisdom of equality. That is her pedestal. Standing on them is the great mother who gives birth to or gave birth to all samsara and nirvana, the Dharmakaya, the wisdom dakini. Her wisdom body appears in accordance with the faculties of individual disciples as Goya Jana, secret wisdom, Vajrayogini, and so forth. She has several different titles. She has one face, 2 arms, and a sow's head. Her principal face is not a sow's head, but she has a sow's head coming out of the left side of her head in some systems on the top and others. She can also be either white or red. White or red, she abides in the illusory celestial expanse of great bliss. White or red, she embodies the expanse of wisdom. She can emanate and express herself as one or many. So she can be alone, she can have an entourage of 4 others, an entourage of 18 others, and so on. One or many, as groups, as anything. She is surrounded by her circle, both inside and outside the palace, at the doors and corners. To the left and right of the doors are pools of amrita, on which float birds with sweet calls. Trees of jewels blazing with light rays, linked by garlands of jewels hung with tinkling little bells, surround the palace. So if you were to walk outside one of the doors, to the immediate left and right of the archways would be pools of amrita, and then to their left and right would be trees with all these wish-fulfilling trees surround the palace. In those inconceivably beautiful and varied trees appear the forms of realm protectors, so protectors of this realm. And then this description concludes with the aspiration, may I be born in that supremely wondrous realm. So with that aspiration, you've concluded the first part, the description of the realm. But while you're reciting it, Lama said, it's pretty clear. It's a pretty clear description. And so try to imagine it as clearly as you can. And most importantly, have faith in it.
ya da ti chen kap san de te la yang nga so nang si ke sanang sang sim to ni ha ko to go ta ta te sai ti chen kap san de m da wa ko go de ti sai ti chen kap san de te la yang ta ta ko song ko chon ser to za sim yo kan ba kan za sim to za dang bo de 다다가 저 줄거기 현감 갑주게 사소 용조다 랩장낭 따 자타마니까 요요리 데니 사켄 플라르텔라 롱거기 현감 야로랑알라 롱거기 사소타 지가 거네 충거티나 이거네 요요바 디 토테네 야로 도르진 창 야변라 ko ranjang ka so thamji ko kon dhyana gi ge yang ze atag deni chunkor ka ko na ba thamji ke kon yo ba na gi den da li chukko long ko truk samji sponsor ke toza ko sam yo ta te ti da hyangkham ti hyangkham sam de la sai hyangkham sam de di na da nang hyangkham sam de da wa sa wa nga so cha ya yin da ta ring bo che la nga so hyangkham ko ba den da wa yo ma de ta ring bo che la nga so ko me go yo ma de da de da wang bo ram ren ta sim go wo ni nyam slin da wo de na hyangkham da la sam na ta da ya na gi de sa sang sam da de ko Lama Yeshe o ten de lagin correct ta nang tin kan san de ro de cha yo ga na nga so phong kan de ya ya kan de ri de phong bo nga rang ge zo bo de ya ya kan de ya ka pyu ge chen thong che ya ya kan ta ta gong ni khu ba na ye zo bo de ko ya ya kan ri de de ya na ge ge ka tang sang wa xiang go na toso chama dada yarye kan go yana gi 대안아 이거 거 닝거 우서 단 상도 바르고 바히바 나기 리 닝거 우드네 거 다다 갑규기 형감 공원에 전에 그거 사초 탐지 랑 닝거 장거 우서 사초 탐지 요디 요바다 산답 질르르얀도 거 사이트 주지 고 바다 곤삼마 지다 대안아 이거 것도 그 바디 samno tate ko nyamni ke thoni kale ha ko kale nyamle mawe na nga so ha ko to kamari le yichi che kamari den do kale nyamni ke thoni ha ko tham kare den do nang dhyana ge nang hyangkang na samno re tang go na dhyana ge ke so samno tundri ke thoni luje zane la kon kapyu ge la cho tam ji yo ba da lun den kapyu ge ya ye kan ge ko ba de lo po phong bon da la zo bon de la ko chang de yo ba de ge thong da sam no tang thok go de sang wa la sam no zai tang ge na de le chu chin thwa re ge chen khorang ngo wa la sam no tang ro de da da nga zo ge sang wa nga rang re sim ye ne gyor wa me ba chor ma myo wa jor ma myo wa nam ko chu di ma ngo wo ro namjorma yengda 공원에 저저거도 예네 예योग 넘바 연바라 연바 하고 톱고다 대도서 창마대 ngazo 책고와 잠정아서 돈이 고토고 말 갈래 그 냠리르시 손데 몰람 라말 대파 다나 이치 템보 거니 예당 갑유 깔모데 공원에 지가 조섬는 냠니 야보 시 인도 디톤이 sem 코랑공 오니 고 다다난 건 주디모 코랑공 오니 냠니 될렘 거들이야 하공 거들이야 타 댕니 저랑게 댕니 저 돌네 하고 탐 거들 마도 제게 다다 가서 디게자 히나 나와는 rolike 책 자원인들이요 말이 막 히나 고토고 말이 다때 갈래 냠리고 가서 냠리 시 마탑게 가서 참마 랑기 로섬 참마데 추데라 추데 야체자 가서 막 냠리데 시 마탑 추다 강자니 야브달 판로 추다 강자니 천레 마탑 야브달런로 데니테사르 갑레 차도 콜리야 덴드리 마송와토니 냠니 디토니 디책데 동다데 하고 톱고들이 다때 동제 공원에 선나 세 띵형가서다 나기띵 형가서다 상마게 띵형가서다 서야르게 선낭 상성고토니 형감데라 든리케 고조리라 갈래 가서 고텀 그리 디값스 오미지행 서야다 나원데 토데 오미지행 서야다 형감 인직팅 나원디 토 코라공 오데 형감데 드럼데 되니 나와 찬르데 되니 고갑레 자완이니 메리 다른 뭐 제라 나저게 이디 소란데 먹어버 차고들이라 데 마리 거든 나저게 다다디 형감데 고바데 차자 영월에 차르제 탄카나 디게 요바디 나게데 차르제네 되니 텔로 소라 제제든 뎀네 되니 나저게 모나답나 모나답지든 갑유 비현던 로 손 텔라 태som 무구 손 te chimbaro dorje ke nga so ke lama chuju te ke di chuju dabo te chin khore ke hyani songyale hya tromona ni songyale ya ni te nga so yi chi tam nga so ko litin da pama ta da gang ta jewa mi na di nimma relan kapyo ko monam den don tam na sorwa tse che da lama te chimbaro dorje ta 야당 도르진 남절마 때라 이르메 바리라 소란 뎀도네 티니 가서 찌찌다 니마르 레겐달라 딤호나는 돈탐나 자자자가 가비고 켄던 로틀리 테니 따튼리게 선상 성거토니 띵신 간산데 되게 뭐 임베차기
Can you hear me? With regard to this first section, this description of the realm, we're taught that it should be understood in three ways. The external celestial realm, the internal celestial realm, and the secret celestial realm. What's described here as an external environment with certain features is the outer or external celestial realm. But nevertheless, all of its attributes are those of the true nature of all things. For example, although it's not mentioned in the Aspiration liturgy itself, her palace has 3 stories or 3 floors. The bottom story is that of the Nirmanakaya, the second, that of the Sambhogakaya, and the third, that of the Dharmakaya. So the bottom floor, the first floor, is displays the Nirmanakayas of Vajrayogini and her entourage. In the floor above, this Sambhogakaya floor, are the Buddhas of the 5 families teaching the doctrine of the Vajrayana and Mahayana. And finally, on the 3rd floor are Vajradhara, father and mother, surrounded by many Vidyadharas, representing the Dharmakaya and teaching the ultimate Dharma of Ati Yoga. So that is, these are all features of the external or outer realm. The internal or inner celestial realm is not far away or distant. It is your own body. And this is primarily realized through the practice, the 3 different types of practice that are mentioned in the Aspiration Prayer later on. Essentially, our aggregates and elements present within our physical bodies are the palace of Vajrayogini. Your mouth, your genitalia, your nose, and your anus are the 4 gates of the palace. And in that way, every part of your body naturally corresponds to, or really is, one of the features of her palace. For example, within your heart, in the center of your heart, are the principal deities, and within all of the channels branching out from your heart and throughout your body are all of the Viras and Dakinis. Now this is something that has to be experienced through practice, because until you experience it yourself, you won't really believe it. It's just words, it's just an idea at this point. Nevertheless, the inner level of the Khechari or inner understanding of the Khechari or celestial realm is that your body is that celestial realm. And then there is the secret level, which is, you could say, even higher or more rarefied. And this is the fact that self-awareness, your mind itself, is and always has been the celestial realm. But saying that now, again, is just words. It doesn't mean anything. It has to be realized. It has to be experienced through praying to your guru, praying to Vajracharya, and through cultivating the practice of the White Khechari, the generation stage, mantra repetition, and completion stage. And then when you achieve a liberation within you, then you will understand what it means to say that your mind's nature is and always has been the celestial realm. Such statements, if left as mere words, leave quite a bit of distance, almost a type of dissociation between us as people and Dharma. Sometimes it can seem that Dharma is simply too great, too vast, and too profound, and our practice too inadequate to meet with it. But the way to overcome this is to practice. And we need to reveal these things, the inner and secret levels of her celestial realm, through practicing this. So when you recite this part of the aspiration, the description of the realm, imagine the outer realm that is described here, but consider and keep in mind that this outer realm is also already within your body and is your mind itself. Ultimately, when this is perfectly realized, if it is realized in this life, you discover that this place, wherever you are, is already Akanishta, the highest pure realm. Until you gain that experience, however, continue to imagine this pure realm as described in the liturgy, as depicted in the paintings, and pray to be reborn there. You need have no doubt whatsoever that you will succeed in being born in this realm, because it was guaranteed by Tershin Vajracharya that anyone who sincerely recites this aspiration to rebirth in Vajrayogini's celestial realm every day and does so with devotion will definitely be reborn in that realm, in her realm, as soon as they die.
어디 다 띵지 되게 띵신 가서서 다때 니바 다 조초사 드장 거리 다 초사 드장 마웬나 되니 양핑 아서 신감 제 탑서야 되라 마서 그 응아이서 그 드바장 탑서야 돼 가게 가버리 응아이서 그 드바 장 마탐나 신감 제 서야 되라 선한 상성 그 다다데 가렌라wen 다 신감 또고나 또 못하면라고 차는 거데 된데 다다 초마사발은 레베미 세마츠나 말면 용송바나기 다테니 저 초사드잖아 돌리니 봐. 저 초사드잖데 초사바데 인라 덤버거니 사고가 초사당나 망보게 요리 강다리야 초사당나 망보 요리야 니가 저 초사 인라 덤버거니 사고들이 너네 대진 콜르땡로도 검진 도라메베 3초 더 텐데 뭐좀 베힌교도 주미 이제 좀 되면 做当可做结帮俺通呢，是他生意六周隔壁的三草是当我的三草为引来的，他听着我的所说个难我了，引我了看呢，想看的电想看的引我了看呢，得了一切的得把的见呢， that din done anything as a din done the samsar called the samsarjita samsalika sangaran kiboyam mayimba luche the lusewa trang meba turn then it tendrich samsartamna Tela Lugoni, Gubata, Tepatananga Gonitin, Son Soja Chembo Sandra, Lichatatango. Sona several you comes under Luton, you get in Chubamber, Jictin, Depan, Koryo, the Namda King, the truth of Mulum Burrs. Toma mean a tangi, rangi, Niton Kanamato Leno, Yutan, Tardon, Topjin in the Ya, Sassam, Younger than the Yapa, Diana Dombanani. Samba Sansari, Sazam Yangaton in Conroman Rogan, Jesus on the Yaramber, to some to me, Conda eat and lose. A Chini chicken, Jesus on a tongue, Malapardo. Malan was a pardo, Jumelu, that's what Jesus as a Chico, Diacarba Jamsu, Songhi, Kurr, Major Tartin to some Dorjico, Hendaco, and Rodon Jimmy to some thought of 100 yo for a soul. That tea into the some serving in Latin, Chupamber in Latin, that did Dorna in Latin, Gisi Yarawa in Latin, Korea Soran, but the young element of your Soran de Paso, in La Dambate and Roda, in La Dambating also to gender, Mevata, Mambo, your treat of it. Dick of the Tigon, young on the gun, he but in Nanging Tony, then Chicagoni, then it's also in La Dambatella, Dean don't say. Captela, some not Tindrike, Yigoni, Tanjin Chupambarat, the so Samala, Yitrat, Yichin Chupam, Musum Barata, Mumjorte, Yitrni, Banani, Dian Dicaps, Yiturgan Chupakan, some Tana, that Tindrike, Tang with some Sarvata, Tamna, Rabri, Tan Chupayabo, Yata, the Sociata, the Corte. Mena yi goni kunta zambu chupchanga toni tin donse de tsikdong yi la tin yanda ta tsega tonde sarbu ye yi lan re ta ta buki chipo toni dongko na kale kawo re do pajan de ka se chana zo bu yin mi xin ke na yingji toni tong nge de na samno tang tale ka yingji to den ka re se na yingji mi xil se yo marwa de la ere la ngala mage be 인제도라 팜드 저런데 배 책도 소리 야보 님보 곧 되었던 이렇게 파비아 어디 되니 저라서 디토니 돈네 되니 책동 일을 얘한테 책동 일을 제네 대가서 이연 마행네 뇽모바 이제 발 맞추바 강탑도 거는 딘동세 되는 직딩 사와 탐지 디체텔라 다까마 쩌쩌가 되는 직딩 사와 탐지 파 체가 총결 파 껴 어탑다는 then it your matap some tandone, the goteni, then you call Yomo Mandriva. Say, check the then is all right in depth, then it see Tamna, the Pion Hajang Chimbo. The injured data, Sosake, Sosaba. Dag Jinghaz of Molam de Lutin Della. Oh, no one Rosma, Roti. Or Litin Dollar Town Jordan, the number of Obama Captain, what's our metabic angel, the King Carton, Kayan Kitchen, Tonjo, what's it yet? Roger and double monad up than Dr. Ho, see, they were young in and they be used so on the butter. Could you so on the butter? Oh, they tell the Lama country, Dorji number Machu, Timber number country king to Drupal Ho, Sondo. That Tela, Saitela Pe, Sachimbo Yori. Darkes, Ki, Na, Zo Sumje, Monam to. That they tears a Monam Tagal, Mare, Maemba, Kierim like Kapu Garmo, Mone, Ko Yonan, Kanchi Yobate. They are not yig, not Sidinta, not Dawata. They are not yig, Zorum the Zoba Chimbota, the Kantaria, the Drupal take a top take, Monam de two take, Lutin the Totten, a Lutin Kiwa Yin Parm, Kiwa Yin Yu Mago, Lutin the Totten, Toran Chotan, number tapal, Capuchin the Jin, Kia Zama Jim Lama country Chota, Dorje Namjoma Trimba, Zamjimula, number of Kapju Hint and the Drupal Hoje, so the Sora Jake than the court. That is Sora then David Capsula, dates are cuts and checks on my imba. Say, kick the Sora and the Tabata, Debata Nagagonitini, the drop of Goro. Read that. That is Molam Janja, read that. Joti. Pambora and Tasam.
The second section of the aspiration prayer. The second section of the aspiration prayer begins immediately after the conclusion of the first section. We saw that the description of the realm ends with the words, "May I be born in that supremely wondrous realm." Starting with the words, "May I actually see one pace above," begins the second section. And the second section consists of accumulation, especially the accumulation of merit, and purification. And these two are needed. Purification is needed so that you understand or realize what the realm is. So the effect of purification is enabling you to get rid of anything that will cause you to doubt the possibility of rebirth in the realm. And the need for the accumulation of merit is that in order to do anything, you need merit as fuel. Said that trying to get something done without the accumulation of merit is like trying to squeeze sand and hope that you'll get sesame oil out of it. So there are many different methods of purification and accumulation, but here the method that's used is the 7 branches, which have 2 advantages. They include all the different methods of accumulation, and they are concise. So the first branch is the branch of prostration or homage, and this begins, "May I actually see." So you say, "May I actually see one pace above my Mahasukha chakra in the supreme place of devotion, the Bhagavati, principle and retinue." Mahasukha chakra is the chakra in your head, so that means in the sky before you, but at a height 1 pace above the top of your head. Bhagavati, principle and retinue, to whom I have been unbearably devoted in this life, and to whose realm I have aspired. So this is both an aspiration to actually see her at the moment of death and be led to her realm by her, and also to remind you to be imagining her in the sky before you as you begin the process of accumulating merit. And then I respectfully bow and pay homage to you with as many emanations of my body as there are grains of sand. It indicates both bowing and prostrations, as well as homage. And the idea here, Lama said, is you don't think that you are prostrating to her alone. You imagine that your body prostrates to her, and as it does so, it emanates or emits countless replicas of itself, all of which simultaneously prostrate to her. How many replicas? As many replicas as there are grains of sand. You can think grains of sand in the entire world, traditionally grains of sand in the river Ganges, whichever comes to mind more easily. So the first branch is to imagine countless replicas of yourself prostrating in devotion to Vajrayogini. And then we have the second branch, which is offering. I offer Samantabhadra clouds. The Bodhisattva Samantabhadra, one of his miraculous deeds was to produce offering clouds in this way. He would miraculously emanate an offering. That offering would miraculously emanate 10 replicas of itself. Each of those would miraculously emanate 10 replicas of itself, and so on exponentially, endlessly. So you imagine that all of the things you offer are multiplied by powers of 10 continuously until they fill the universe. And what are you offering? Offering Samantabhadra clouds of the wealth that results from vast merit. So you offer everything you have and everything you can imagine that is good, that comes from merit, along with my body and possessions. So again, you offer countless replicas of your own body and all of the things that you actually own. In addition to that, you make the mandala offering of all worlds. You say, I transform all mundane and supramundane worlds into pure realms and offer them through imagination. So you offer to Vajrayogini and her entourage every world, every planet, every realm, every star, everything in the universe, all of it transformed, each world transformed into a pure realm. The third branch is the branch of confession. And this is the branch that brings about not only the accumulation of merit, but also purification. I confess from my heart all the wrongs I have done throughout beginningless time, both inherent wrongs and violations of commitments. Inherent wrongs are things that are wrong whether you've promised not to do them or not. Violations of commitments are things that are wrong because whether they were wrong otherwise or not, they've become wrong because you've promised not to do them. All evils and downfalls. Evils are wrongdoing in general. Downfalls are wrongdoing, wrongs so severe as to cause lower rebirth. And I confess them with complete remorse. There needs to be a regret, strong regret of everything done wrong, and the forceful vow never to repeat them. In that way, through admission and regret and the vow never to repeat them and reliance upon Vajrayogini, the powers of confession are complete. The fourth branch is the branch of rejoicing in the good deeds done by yourself and others, and especially others. Here, you particularly rejoice in the supreme good deeds of Vajrayogini and all other wisdom dakinis. I rejoice in the acceptance of all beings. That means her accepting all beings as disciples and bringing them toward Buddhahood by as many dakinis as there are particles. In the three levels. In other words, there are as many wisdom dakinis, awakened beings, as there are particles of matter in the three levels, which are the celestial level, the terrestrial level, and the subterranean level. And in connection with that, you say, throughout the three times and beyond time, accept me, body and mind. And you make this aspiration because what you are rejoicing in is Vajrayogini and her entourage as their act of teaching, their act of benefiting, blessing, and leading beings to awakening. So in connection with that, you say, and while we're on the subject, please teach me. And that segues into the next branch, which is the actual request to turn the Dharma chakras. And again, this is focused on Khechari, Vajrayogini, and the things that she especially is known to teach. So that I and others achieve mastery of dreams, the clear light, the bardo, and the illusory body, I request that the melodious speech of Dharma of many doors, many gates to the teachings, continue for innumerable kalpas. So you ask that she and her emanations and entourage teach these Vajrayana teachings. Next is the request that Buddhas remain and not pass into parinirvana. I pray that you forever abide, spontaneously present in the Vajra body, unchanging, permanent, and stable throughout the three times, bringing unceasing benefit for beings through realms and their contents. So again, here, it's focused on her specifically, but also that she abide in an accessible way, that she continue to manifest these pure realms with their attributes so that beings can be brought to awakening. And then you dedicate the seventh and final branch is dedication. Now, in a sense, you could say that continues throughout all the rest, since it is an aspiration. But in the actual section that we would identify as the seven branches ends with, through the power of my aspirations toward generation, mantra, and completion, may I achieve supreme liberation in this body. At the very moment of recollecting the pure, highest celestial realm, and you, my Guru, the supreme Dakini, Vajrayogini, may I reach that pure Dakini realm. So Lama said that the words here are very special because you're dedicating the preceding six branches, but also all of your aspirations, the aspirations that you've made, and that you're going to make soon, coming soon after, and especially your aspirations toward, and therefore also your practice of, her generation stage, repetition of her mantra, and her completion stage. And you dedicate this to first achieving supreme liberation in this body, and of through recollecting her and her realm at death, immediately transferring to or being born in that realm. And Lama said, it's probably best that those of you who are not Tibetan literate recite this. If you're going to be reciting it every day, that you recite this in English. Because the idea of this is that you, the meaning of each line, which is pretty clear if it's in a language you understand, strike you and touch you and motivate you as you read it. It's also much easier to be undistracted and focused if you understand what you're saying. And so you can, even if all you do is recite this aspiration every day, for however many minutes that takes, certainly no more than 10 or 15 minutes, you can commit yourself. For these 10 or 15 minutes, I will be undistracted and focus on the meaning of what I'm saying. I will not allow kleshas to intervene, and I will let go of all worldly concerns just for that period of time.
Tati inla dambatela young Tsinani Sarbori, Teni Lamagata Tandrava, Yaponaso, Teni Tend, Sosoke, Chupa Gala, Gansa, Sigdon Yila, Tree, and Kale, Sigitonji, Monam de Kale, Dona Paya Body, Katin and Domba Kantar and Domba Katina, Domba Mambo, Himatona, Yedu Kare, Tona de Tipuri. Sigi Tondi, Nima Kergum Zola, Sek te Lolan Ja, Katsi Taptawe, the Teni Yik te Trinke Tona, Teni Nam, Teni Yila Panjalender into the Kale Kayam Mewanda Chandori. Teni ten to Tatan Chopam Briata, Sam Sariati, Lujagon, Lungara, Didio, and the Hinga to Hit the Turn and the Trame about Sam Sariata, Chopam Bergete and Ara, Dide, Diona, Tangazola, Meto, Ta, Sen, Chopa, Cho, Meto, Ta, Henga, Guaban, Kamba, Po, Mo, Jibata, Lang, Kang, Kongaran, Yila, Gali, you see it, and then Kapu Karmoke. Call Lama Yeshe Gyamtso Karmoke Chokgyur Tela Nembarke San Tenita Borjeta Teana Ko Yinda Yinla Dambate Jisa Yaramata Takurgin Soran Dem Taron Karwan Karavar the Use Soran Debjeta Tening Hoa Monum de Yangi Yang the Samno Tan Tening was Katin John Jorte Yan Chupa Nan Borjeta Yinda Karenborgo and Berjeta, Yija can't top the Kunzang Chöling Sumba Nigeria in Children and Berjeta. Then it drew Saint Jana, you send the corner tea taught in it. Pa Namdo, the new Mombag, and Namdo, the Pat Chick, see, Ni, see, Pa Zama Zangjan Chandra do. Then ye Koran called Zang Sali, Tabaram Jam Charandu, Ding out anything, Tata, Ko Shankam Goba, or Menji Shankam, the Nawatam, Rangi, the La Sam Tom Mago and the Yingonico. Ko learning around you patting around start the Kanzohoma, that's her Charan cholera, they called the Yingo the Charan quality, then the top the one of Chan called it, then the injured in La Dumbarit, and that this injured the so check the Honam Janjang Chokchimbo Kong Topgyal, Monam Seria, the one done in Drupchö. Drum Madub Seriate, Monam Drum Madub Seriate, Sozoka, Lamala Debatana, Yobata, Sozok is Semna, Yichi Zamatzanga, you make a Tonia, Drogozeri, Monam Tep Seriatela. So what Jew Sancho Semte, Mandara Toni, then Monam dem do, Mona Karena, Temrocoderi, Randon. Chokgyur the Mandivanga, so that watching about the Lam Sanghalan Yamnese or tend Rankipo, he top, got up, Chen Kapu king the get tapped up, comes on coral, tart up, son of Chokimbo Matone. That Tatan Denima, one more Amrentas on the son of Don down later. So Chia Simji Yin, Simji Yin Tamjing, around the dead dog Sona can you about the Simji Tamjila Tena or you do. Narani Yin Kipans and Balora Tony. Then it ring debjata, then it Tendrika Tosa Debjan reason. The top taker Narang Jut and Nelo Monetan, Tondanga Sanjo, some the Jin, then he or make it can come down with the Rangi Panchano.
It's best if you recite this aspiration prayer and indeed whatever daily recitations you do slowly enough so that you can relax and understand as you say it the meaning of what you're saying. This is particularly emphasized in the Nyingma tradition, where meditation is supposed to be simultaneous with liturgical recitation. For example, during the offering section within the 7 branches, imagine offering all the things you like best, whatever occurs to you, whether it's bodies of clean and pure water, flowers, horses, men, women, whatever it is. Just think of the things that you like best and multiply them endlessly and offer them to Vajrayogini, inseparable from your root guru. As you get used to thinking in this way, to thinking of the world in this pure way, your experience of the world will gradually be purified. And that's the beginning of the process that can culminate in experiencing this world and this life as the highest pure realm. Aspirations can be accomplished, and they will be accomplished if you really mean it, and especially if they're accompanied by devotion and motivated by bodhicitta. If your aspiration is not simply that you want to be free and get to live in the celestial realm, but that you cherish other beings even more than you cherish yourself, recognizing that they experience happiness and suffering just as you do.
Chosa Drupchö song salary, Taki Molan Namda, the Chokgyur of the territory, that's Samba Tela Namjo Ramdrin Tasum Molan the Quality, so okay. Te the lutin che laman de tata ke lutin che lama ngaso ta tata ke lutin deri ta lutin de ke ta ngaso lo che chong ka che song na di che lama de lutin de che laman de lula ni mi sem je dong har trans tan jik lula ni mi sem je dong har trago lula ni na cha mi go le sem na ki par chi mi go lu ni na cha yu na ngaso ge gewa chu gewa drop ko ne chuk chimbo drop to ko ma lula nimi semje donghar ta so zai la donghan do ko ma dewa khona ro sangwa nyomo danzen rang sa to sangwa zo jia de da nyomo ba danzen rang sa to ko nyomo ba du cha che da tomo mambo chi de ma de no zo to sa danzen nga hi ba re nga so changma de chuk chimbo re yo re ta de ga nga so ta la la ma nga ji za wa de de re nga hi ba re是这个个是这个头目的，是这个给家十张几几啥木完着我的，我是要的，他长毛大的东儿，长毛大的我说我那张呢，通金着我的，大的当真的头的，对的，这些得个大这些啥送多的，那这我见着我的，我呢，我说当真的，对的，大的就是说那个。Dechen Degudal Jekisa, Sondo, De Danzeri. That the Zogia de Sama Nyomon, Danzen Ransa, Tor, Nangazalon Country Tongs, that does you coni Hubari. That de Danzen Ransa, Tor, do Nangazalon Country Tong, Podri, Mato Jeg, Danzen the Madrona, Nang Salon Country Tong, Nga Pongkam Country Tongkel and Yorgonzena, Kale Kawari, Danzen Hukchimbo Jeng the Odriake, you can come Tong Tokoma. Nangazalon Country Tongkel, say Lu ne near ne Sony, your Nikizagi ne Simpisuni Las Obate, ne Suni, Yin the Mamix. Ta yin also Jagar so Yen Sam Gilang also to Chimbo G Sayata, your Nikizagi ne Simpisuni Pawon Country Yoneri say a Geta Hikora, that they so don't can say Higana, Yin the Kamekomaris. Nang Yin the Mame round the Zobayin, so Rang Lundala Zolri, Sem Dito Zolri is on it. Sana yin some jig and driver doors, say now yin nang ripa, there's some jig the tone, jig and rita body. Son now what zolly and Trsa Hinsa Riparo yin son now rain the water. Sana yin some that they call jig and driver doors, that didn't reach. Redo Travi Kitchen Records. Tanga Soga, Tachi Kabukin the Jewaka Revata, Majewaka Topata, Yapo Song Revata, Dobo Song Topa Meva, Redo Trandokorta. Tan Namjo Pomo say at the detour in the intro, Redota. Taron did Namjo Chunga some Tandari. Redo Travi Kitchen Cho, some but the Namjo Chunga Monam de Call. Ori. Di Nipate, Namjon drank Molam, Tati Jundam Nana Sanyang as Lem Korava, Namjor Ramding Tasum, called Samnotong. Jum Lula, Yikilong Sems, Tatin de Zoramka of some Tango, Zoramka Kapsi. Tangason Kapu, Zoram, Tata, Kieram the Timba, Zoram the Timba, Zoba Chimbozen, Jum Lula, Yikilong Sems. 다바 더들라는 창부 고로 포제 오메 다부 행존들 이신가는 가야 되지노 통조 어설제다 로진데 너무 보는 답된 저버 효 서야데 남전자게 땅아 조금 포화금이래 리 로아 디나다 남전 정보조의 건설 송르고도 간 다대 남저 중앙에나 족사리 다대 강다야 족사르와 주물리라 대대리 다대 포화게 나소게 포화들이 다 대리 디체다 랑게행의 서드점표서 드버랑한 느답됨저다 몰람 떨군 터엔저도 이제 리친 카드선데 첸달라 가제 틸리젤라 띠네네 르티만 암테트변 日本看着我们可比都给这点钱大盘这边吧，一些投机啥了，大一他们大不现的吃饱的，可送的。他第这南家人他送个毛那么着的人多，他得个马帮我他，各这天年人家人破钱不人呢，他个着好着哇，他得你可比你多人家人破钱着头好着哇，他第一个南家人他送着我着哇他。Sora that Dechen that called Roa, they didn't know that.
Starting with the words for the rest of this life, we begin the third and final part of the aspiration prayer, which is focuses on the various aspects of the aspiration itself. Previously, we had a detailed description of the realm and the aspiration to be born there. Then we had the aspirations in connection with the 7 branches. Here, you're going to make aspirations that cover the sequence of life and death. In a sense, Lama said, these aspirations, the first set of them, correspond to what are called the lesser, intermediate, and greater yogas in the lineage supplication, which you will be reciting tomorrow and Sunday. First, and concordant primarily with the lesser yoga, for the rest of this life, may my body be free of illness and my mind of suffering. May secret kleshas and self-fixation be liberated in their own place. So your aspiration is that your body be free from sickness, your mind from suffering, and secretly or especially that your kleshas and self-fixation be liberated in their own place. That is the purpose of our practice. We want our kleshas, and especially the fixation on a self that is the root of all kleshas, to be self-liberated. Then, may I see the cities of Dakinis within the inner channels and winds. So this refers to, through the practice of the completion stage, being able to actually see the cities or towns of the Viras and Dakinis within your body. May I thereby realize that the outer 24 and 32 sacred places are nowhere other than within my body, in which they are complete. Now, the outer 24 sacred places of body, speech, and mind, and the 32 sacred sites, and the 8 charnel grounds are places in India. We actually know where they are, and in some cases you can go to them and so on. But you won't see anything too extraordinary unless you realize them within your body, because these outer places of pilgrimage correspond to the places where the Dakinis dwell within your own body. And it's only through, as said, seeing the cities of Dakinis within the inner channels of winds that you will really realize that the outer sacred places are already complete within your body. And so the aspiration is, may I realize the oneness of the outer appearances, inner pure awareness, and the expanse or space, which is inseparable from that inner awareness. And may I attain great wisdom without hope and fear. The next aspiration, so that is an aspiration for realization within this life. The next aspiration is the aspiration for the ability to eject your consciousness to the pure realm of Vajrayogini, the celestial realm at death. Within this illusory body is the mind of wisdom wind. May it be ejected out of the aperture of Brahma from the pure path of the Avaduti, the central channel. May it then mix with the great clear light, the supreme mind of the wisdom Dechen, the spacious expanse of great bliss in the highest pure realm. May this powerful aspiration be accomplished. So the second level is the aspiration. It's a little bit different in sequence here from in the lineage supplication. The ejection of consciousness is classified as the lesser yoga, and then what's going to come next is classified as intermediate and so forth. But here, it's aligned with the sequence of living and dying. But next we come to the different level of yoga. In the case of the aspiration to eject your consciousness, of course, you would leave a body behind. The next level described is where you are able to take your body with you, which Lama said is equivalent in this cycle to the achievement of the rainbow body of great transference. Through the interdependence of acquiring the power of awareness mantra, through the use of the supreme substances, Lanka wood and Sundara, the Sundara Takdapa. Now this refers to the affixing of the Sundara Tilaka, which is done, which yeah, and you guys will do it tomorrow morning. So then maybe you'll all disappear. Yeah. So there may be fewer of you by Sunday afternoon. Yeah, it says that basically it's like you're sealed, and that's the seal that okay, you're ready to go. You can take your body with you to the celestial realm. So through the interdependence of acquiring the power of awareness mantra, it's really wordy in English, through the use of the supreme substances, Lanka wood, and so that means wood from Sri Lanka originally, and Sundara, and through the power of aspiration and discipline, may I and all connected to me be accepted in this life by Dakinis with bodies, in reliance upon the joy swirl tilaka. That's the image you make with the stamp and Sundara. May the stain of fixation on substantiality be purified without abandoning the body. May I be led in an instant to the highest celestial realm by emanated Dakinis, like an arrow shot from a bow or silk tied to a bird. May the mind of wisdom lead me without impediment to that pure realm. So the first aspiration was that you gain realization in this life. The second was that you be able to eject your consciousness at the time of death. And this third one was that you not need to eject your consciousness, that you be able to take your body and soul together to the celestial realm.
Lama Kumtrain Tamboke, Loma, Kumtrain Nibaga Capsa, then Zavalama Lagin Corner, Musico the Capsuri, Tata de Terchin Corner, Semo, Pomo, Barodoji, Sudili, Chojolimbaka, Semo, Dijina, Sansala, Neland Rodi Capsa. Pass time like a pomoje yobate. Then in Barodoji corner sudi. Pochar. Passing Shikama. Then he ended Semo, Dijin and Namazon Rover in Mazo. Rava, Sansasa Namanga. Take us a book Kurchokama. Wopons are a book, Pamiling as other Gokyo. Then the poet in Barodoji sudi, Correga, Correga. Samurawa. Then you Yachen, Kapyu Kona, drop did you. Luti Mapan Henapeka, Kuzo Kanu Hama, Navza Samato, Go Muso, Kapyu Hen Son. Oh, Kapyu Hen Rosen, Korek Navza Samato, Lam, those on the Kapyu, he got up here, Nimajela Carson Miris, and the Navza Korek Tolo Chazan Yagas. It did. Tikasakata. Musaton. They tend out the con Lidima by him Sondra.
This actually happens.
Sorry. This actually happens. There was a daughter of the Chokgyur Dechen Lingpa who was on her way to be married into the Tsongsar family. And on the way, she got pregnant before she made it to her prospective husband. And she gave birth to a girl. Lama said nobody knows who the father was. Nobody asked. And she couldn't bring the baby with her to the, to the marriage. So Chöchen Bawa Dorje brought up the little girl. And she ended up becoming a practitioner who focused entirely on the White Khechari practice. And she lived into the time, Lama said, of my grandfather, Karma Tupten, who said that when she passed away, she just left her clothing. There was no body there. The body just disappeared. It's just clothing. They don't vote.
Nyamba chimbo yiki le ropa le ma to cheke ropa le yamba le ma to cheke yin lo se chorpa le ke te chom zangwa da mewa da oba zayang me je wa ko je don tam ma.
They don't send dun don't vote. Now, the rest of the aspiration basically contains, Lama said, 7 distinct points or 7 distinct aspirations. The first of them is this. The 5 meats and amritas are enjoyed there. The unsurpassed disciplines of union and liberation are cultivated. May I experience all behavior and appearances there as pure, as the play of the great wisdom of equality. May I be without doubts and thoughts of clean and dirty. So the aspiration here is that you be without doubts and thoughts of clean and dirty. In order that you be so, you need to start to train your mind now in not being judgmental and in seeing others, even animals, as emanations of Vajrayogini. So the first aspiration here is that you be without doubts and thoughts of clean and dirty. Because dulka korwe jesum zukawa sena de konso ke jesu zong kawa la segir. Jesu zong kawa. So the second aspiration is that you be accepted by her or cared for by her and become reborn as her child. So in the text it says, accepted by the principal or cared for by the principal. The principal here is Vajrayogini. May I enjoy unity with her wisdom. Although it is difficult for samsaric beings who are hard to tame to bear her acceptance, may I, through unhesitating devotion to the principle, enter her mouth, be blessed in her 5 chakras, and be born as first among her children. So your aspiration is that you be actually swallowed by her. Your body's obviously not a flesh and blood body, and swallowed by her and reborn from her as her child.
Rendri Chokgyur Pama Simjinga Zewe Matong Tata Songi Jo Namki Tapu Hengde Tripar Kyo Song Dan Rendri Zena Sosok and Dreva Zangder Tangin Nika Zole Rendri Tat Kiwatane Langza Seja Tota and Kabjuk Hengde Jetsarwa Jetsardu Tanga Zog Hurdu Lupake Pama Simji Tamji Monhik Tondo Koli Dedog Chatang Rendri Chokgyur Pama Simji Gon Zewa Chimbo Tanga Zog Tok Zewa Chimbo Goni Zangder Ninder Drani Parma Yongzo the some tango that Zani Parma Sumka Zewe Maton Tatuta the Sung Job seat of Goli Shankani Ma Sung Job Sejata Soso Gati Tangaranga Tinuba the Dean Sally can come jet Sung Job da Nam here Koranso Kabuki Shengden Jawa Gish in Shengden and treat about Hoje Samne in the Monum to the head. Samba. Kaka.
The third aspiration concerns your survivors, those who left behind.
All right. Your third aspiration concerns your survivors, those you left behind. May I kindly not abandon all the beings connected or known to me, such as my parents. Now, connected or known to me, Lama said, means not only those with a good connection to you, but also those with a bad or neutral or mediocre connection. Everybody known to you, everybody who's had any connection with you. So may I kindly not abandon all the beings connected or known to me, such as my parents. May I continually protect them and eventually lead them to that pure realm. That's the third aspiration. And the fourth one, the fourth aspiration comes immediately after that. And I'm sorry, did I even turn this off? Okay, so may I love and may I protect from obstacles all who abide in the greater, intermediate, or lesser Vajra yogas. Then, am I on? Okay. The fifth one is kind of similar to the third one. It's may I love and care for my parents, siblings, enemies, friends, and those in between, without distinction or partiality. May they all eventually become disciples of the Dakinis of the expanse of space.
Or that robate, King the Sir, Sonsan Tamjiko, Durga Loton, the Setabjik, or Chitanton Robert Twitchy, Lichi Joram is in Jipin and Yambatos, the Tor Tromona, Yikin country, and Tele Turbikin, Trenley, and Tele Turbikin, Temton Yangta. Now I may park horse. That day, that day, you can come Tenendru in the Capsula, so Samala, go the Bamo Trovo, the Tromo, goes on Pomo Tamjila, that go. Kapyu Korang Tralega Drubikin, De Tamjin Tong, Tiri, and Tony Caps and Jikan, can now I may part horse and Korea, Nazoga, Tobang Iban Charnicas and Jipan now I Charna, the Caps and Jikak, and now I may part horse on the Tataricum Monata. The Toban. Temtong Jikan, now I may part horse.
The sixth aspiration is the aspiration not.
The sixth aspiration is the aspiration not to be frightened of this. Outside that realm in all directions is the great charnel ground of the Herukas of Uddiyana. It is the means through which those with perverted thoughts who are hard to tame are tamed. It is therefore a terrifying place. No being could bear going there. It is the realm of male and female wrathful ones who liberates Tamaya breakers and of activity emanations of wisdom Dakinis. Seeing it, may I be without fear.
Thank you. All of the Kapju the root of Dojo, Pachi he chomtrate, Tela, Dechen, Dambachiavari, Ho, Sonjata, Te, Damadavari.
And then the seventh.
No.
And the seventh is related to it. So you've just said, seeing it, may I be without fear. That wrathful display is the miracle of wisdom that removes obstacles for all who do and will reach the Dakini realm. May I have faith in and devotion for it.
어때? dharma njo goma sana ya ta jepan rawote te gosong chami phomo thamji la manjik mata tepe koye so iki phorana da samata zomi kharta sado gawanyo sanso dorje wango gosam men cheje mombe tongkön teren rangi tongni sanjon tropor ko so ta te hyangkham tene tazu gosala hyangkham 다다 니 향감 직딩 감 다다 니 향감 나와 장고le 마도 지 다다 향감 나와 장바담나 사니 가실렘나 참잡자 다다 된르베나 고성 참이 그 포모 탐지 살라 빈직자 첨보요 이향 다다 야야가 사탐비라 참이 그 포모 탐지 다제 동지 도소근 고지 르시 쳔나 네데랭고 고지 장장 된르체 긴직자 나장 나다다나 남상 거라 탐지 다죠 도소 포모 탐지라 문제 못잡아 then tepa tanang go se go le ma do je ge yang go se to go me je ma da tepe go so yi phorana da sama da se de tam je go se ne yi hi da da phorana da zo mo ge to nga zo ge la kan na gi de na le ma ta do zo mo ge hyar de le cha ne thong wa zang je ma tam ne sa yong su zo ba to sang sam lu nga yi sam je wang go go sam de to ma wang go sam men ne che je da nga rang go mo nam tab di le dong cha chan de den drum ne rang de yin ga ge dong ji den ro ba hyo je zo ne de ga su da 용 hyo je zo mo nam je pa re da ri mon je pa ta zu mon ji yu na ji gong da nge ta zu
Gomata, go
yo nan de ke do de da ti sin ju da no ji
of the seven, we've had the seven, but now Lama says, well, there's eight. And so now we come to the eighth part. And it ensues naturally upon the preceding one. So previously we had, may I have faith in and devotion for it, that. And so without fear, with faith, may I ask the male and female, alloy is literal translation. Usually we say hybrid now. That year I was saying alloy because the word traman refers to a metal alloy. But anyway, we always say hybrid gatekeepers to open the gates. Lama said at this point, we need to train in this now because otherwise you might be born there, but be very frightened by these gatekeepers who have the heads of animals. That's why they're called hybrids. They have the bodies of gods and goddesses, but the heads of all sorts of animals and birds and whatnot. And you might be a little bit frightened by that, to say the least, terrified. And then, as soon as I enter the palace of wisdom, may I see the principal's face, achieve the levels, and taste joy. May I receive the empowerments of her three secrets, ripening my three gates. May all that I have one pointedly prayed for be accomplished there. May the benefit of myself and others be spontaneously accomplished or achieved.
ta ti jog de ta da thoma parta sam thomar ge wali par de jog par de yon thaman jog zelen da jog dowa sar sama jog dowa ke sar sabji tu sam sombe jarwa se je je kan da zam monam ta pa ta sinde ma tu sam je sombe jarwa se da ke pa tham ji gang da kan da zam monam ta pa ta kimi nyor ta drpen thanjar Konda bakin zeta, Chokgyur top ju molam dropper ho dare bendare sote molam dropper ngari tia the bendare on bodana so far so that the ju de ke trawas.
And then the last stanza is the conclusion to the
Jungle.
The last stanza is the conclusion to the whole aspiration prayer, and it reads, May all the victors and their children who appear throughout the 3 times cause these aspirations to be accomplished without impediment, just as they did the aspirations of Samantabhadra. Through the power of their bodhicitta, may my aspirations be accomplished. And then the mantra, the Om Dare Dare and so forth, is the mantra for the accomplishment of whatever aspiration has been made.
Ori, tate indi, tate Drupchö, teni te singri nang tene, ta ndalandar sing Khechari Kheng Drupchö, dag monam zambo yang se, sombaro doji korek monam Topgyal. Ndalandar topje den Khechari Kheng don ro topje kong monam Topgyal yu song. Ta korek din sen Drupchö lama kiwa chimbori. Lu ma pam patro ke Kheng ke cha, bepe yorso, sandong tamji, season sini song ni nga zo de song da, season tamji je, ndala zong yi monam de par hyo se de la zong monam de yan de par hyo so de gi pa chong yoda ning bu khong ge se da khong ge chi se ri yang yang ochok se ne ko rong o se ochok se ne da pe se ba khong ge dro ji so ne khan du wa so barba dorji ning de dam ba ning ge long ba ro so nga so ge long ba la song de len sa ri da bu na wa je de monam yen so da de karma ta kin je me song pa na de given rokon Khechari ne to savanda galana bavin to son the kong monam tab yabari then the tang so ke cherab leje lama de terchimbaro dorji nga so changma jor songari tan dikana manche gi gyogdele yochi de tal lama baro dorji landra ma tab de meri chulandra ma tab de meri then the lama chu the nikalan drava top chadu then ko ngone tane ke deba tana yabo go ni sora tab dina se chek to nga ran son jorwa meba ke to sora tab dina Kong Dina is all on the way you do, then also some Sombajek and Khechari and Rotogri, some nigga, the Riki Chiro go liri. Then it take a yen, then it to go horse on the party horse, that the 2 tongue chitu near a gun Khechari Molavre, Chatamare, Tama Tilong Dawari, Timalon Dawana, the Tonda George had the chain about Tonda the Hakon of Curry, then it take you, then it's hanging the lang also. 초반 소야리 년이런 거 사냥하도도 서로 니나냥하도 된 초반 소야리 다다 피닉스 아리조나게 가서 뭐 건나네 디 카퓨게 로만보르는 소린데 드림주데 팔라 대한 로만보르나 된 지명이 파자네 코나마금 보거나 로만본 소리 되는 나니 달로니나 나사가 초마 되는 가서 어느 초바리 디 마음발라 판소特别게 레와요 강다량 너는 초나 가는 초나 da japan rawo ri then the da sani zamna tin nga so gon soban soyari then the nga so ge regya da bo ti za lama ka den chimbo ri rumbo ji khore ga ka den tin nga so tamba chu jung ko ko san den za chimbo na nga so lan de nang cha wa ri then the lama ko den tu na me ji ma chik de dra ji ji chu ji ko den de na me ji ma chik then da ji nga so chu dan de ba kan za gen de ka den de na me ji ma chik ne tin nga zo ge nyamni sin de jina tin nam gen khap ju ge hen do nga zo jing ba jing ge je ge ri tin tin ru chama ge thuk cha na ro ji tin sa ni nga zo zam nan zo myong tin nam ba sin je chama la tin tin zam ja na go kya ro
When I forget to turn on my little thing, then there's like beeps, beeps, and beeps. The Colophon with which Dechen Baba Dorje concludes the aspiration is both powerful, inspiring, and significant. He wrote, I have repeatedly made the good aspiration that all who form a connection with this prayer reach the celestial realm. In other words, he himself aspired that anyone who forms a connection with this prayer achieve this aspiration. Therefore, all who wish to reach the Nirmanakaya realm, a hidden land, without abandoning their bodies, be diligent in making this aspiration. In response to repeated and insistent request of my disciple Yudra Nyingpo, I, Vajracharya, the Lord of Dakinis, composed these instructions, which are like my heart, in a place itself shaped like a heart, amidst pure appearances. My aspirations were set down in writing by the miraculously fast fingers of Karma Tashi Topgyal, who wrote with the speed of an arrow. Through the virtue of this, may all beings achieve the celestial state. Well, that's why he sped up when he read this, because he saw how fast. And then he thought, oh, speed of an arrow, eh? Well, I can talk as fast as the bottom line here is all of us here, in other words, taking part in this Zoom gathering, are destined. We are karmically connected with Dechen. He is our destined guru in life after lifetime. That means that we are those for whom he made the aspiration that we be able to be reborn in the celestial realm through our forming a connection with and practicing this prayer. So in other words, we need to have no doubt whatsoever that he's talking about us when he says that. Lama said, my explanation of this prayer has been somewhat brief, for which I apologize, almost more like a reading instruction where you give the transmission and comment a little bit here and there. I mean, he said that, but really that's not true. He went into quite a bit of detail. Tomorrow morning, we will practice, and again in the afternoon, and then again Sunday morning. And we've done this for several years. There were several years when I was able to go to Phoenix and accompanied by Chimen Lama, and we would all do this together in person. And then COVID happened. So now for the second year in a row, we're doing it on Zoom. Basically, we need, however we can arrange it, whether in person or on Zoom, to practice and never forget our Guru's kindness. And if we can do this practice and keep mindful and appreciative of our Guru's kindness, we will be born in Vajrayogini's celestial realm. Have a good night's sleep, sweet dreams. See you tomorrow.
Laso. Any dang the chingini sepagets our data majan of Nafta never seemed yet. Chokgyur karmi hang the sombajek the sanje packet, cheetah, one of ninja the somber shows.
Finally, please join me in reciting the dedication and aspirations, dedicating the virtue of this sharing this Dharma to our all being reborn in the realm of Vajrayogini and achieving awakening of Buddhahood together as one mandala or one group.
Sonam Daya Tamje Zepani Tomna Nibe Rana Bamzen Jiga Namje Balon Roba Seben Sol Rowa Yo Gewan De Jiwoka Sona Yiki Zozo de Sona Yiki Lezan Tamba Gani Dobara Yo Sanjo Semne Rambo Je Maji Pana Jijo Jiba Nyamba Meba Dan Kone Konda Bewara Yo Semje Tamje Dedan Danger Niro Tam Yo Sanjo Samba Kanda Sarjo Ba Deda Kanje Mala Droba yo sanje jen zen tambe kar jargan de ya Lingpa Sabje Mezon Reve Sanga Ju Sige Sonda Jabe Trachte Yo. Thank you, Lomar Moju. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Bye. Have a good night. Sweet dream. Bye. So great to see you, all Dharma friends. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, giving me a good opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Someone go here, though. Yeah, I know you guys all. The Mambondo. Hope to see every song together.